Homeopathy, people have a lot of confusion. What exactly is homeopathy for those who are not clear about how it works?
Yes, it's the same as allopathic medicine.
Okay.
It's same background, right? The only thing that is different is that we use homeopathic remedies.
They have this thing about, all the tablets look the same.
Yeah.
And they say, right? They are like those sugar balls. That's what people say.
Yeah.
It's just the sweet balls. And there is like, maybe it is a placebo effect and all.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can go deeper because I don't know.
We can talk about the little sugar balls.
Little sugar, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about
how it tastes the same if it is
because
so different.
that is the carrier. That is just the carrier liquid. You know what I'm saying? That are in those sugar balls, right?
Okay.
And then the actual medicine or the diluted form of the medicine and the right potency is actually put onto those sugar balls. With homeopathic medicine, you can do a lot. I mean, I have seen lots of cancer patients.
You have? Okay.
Yes. And they're all actually, I don't think any of them are...
The cancer never came back?
No, they are cancer-free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to Heal with Zainab. This is a space where you come home to yourself. I am Zainab, and here we explore what it truly means to be well, not only in your body, but also your mind and soul. Deeper conversation, spiritual grounding practices, and deeper healing. So I don't want you to miss any of the episodes. Please try to subscribe and click on the bell notification. Today, we have a very, very powerful guest, a homeopathic and a functional medicine doctor with 37 years of experience, someone who is the first one to implement homeopathy in UAE healthcare system. And not only this, she's a truth seeker. She is, according to me at least, a spiritually enlightened person who is never afraid to speak the truth and the flaws of pharmaceutical industry. Truly awakened person and someone who really know how to live with a purpose and clarity. She is Dr. Sophie Skojan. Welcome to Heal with Zainab.
Thank you so much for having me.
If there's one guest I was truly excited to have. I mean, I've always been excited about many of my guests, but you are that special one, considering the experience you have. And I still do not know how we will cover so many things in 1 hour. But I am 100% sure that this podcast either will go for 2 hours, or if we do not have that slot, then maybe next episode, because we have so much to talk about. Starting with you coming to UAE, right?
Yes.
What really brought you to UAE?
So I had met my ex-husband in Norway, and we decided that the best thing was for me to move. And I had already a clinic in Oslo together with 5 other homeopathic physicians. So I did my paperwork and did my checking, how I could kind of work here. I came to UAE and had my paperwork with me and had been told that I could just bring it along. And then when I came along...
And it was how many years back?
Oh, that was so first time I was here in 1989.
1989?
Yes.
Wow, you actually saw raw UAE.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, okay.
And so I had sorted out all the paperwork that they asked me to do. And then, when I came, they said, oh, we don't have anybody like you here. And then I thought, okay, fine. What am I doing now? Because at this point, I'm already married and, starting a family, and
yes.
et cetera, et cetera. So I said, okay, fine. Then we will start to work on the implementation of it. And so I worked on that from started the work in 1990, and we finished in 2000.
Wow.
So 10 years.
10 years it took you to implement homeopathy in here.
So yeah, because there was
Were
changes.
people aware of homeopathy
So
at that time?
the local population here, actually, I had lots of help and push from the ruling families, because the local population here had then been traveling to India and elsewhere to get homeopathic treatment.
Okay.
And they were also very familiar with herbal treatment. So it's not, it's a big step, but you know, when you are in that space of wanting natural treatments, it's not a big step to step into the world of homeopathy, right? From herbal medicine.
So people were receptive.
So people were very receptive,
Okay.
but they didn't have it into a system and how to organize, for who to license, what kind of educational background, etc., etc., etc. So we laid the foundation of that, and I had great help from, as I said, from big parts of the ruling families in all the Emirates, and also because at that point I also was a private homeopathic physician for many of them. And they knew what this was all about. So, and next step was then to have meetings in the ministry and try to organize it, try to set up have a system in place for the licensing procedures, and so that everything is governed in a proper way.
Okay.
And that was a lengthy,
Okay.
obviously a lengthy.
Many people, they know about homeopathy, like almost everyone knows about homeopathy, but people are not exactly clear what is
What I do,
homeopathy.
yeah.
You know, like they don't know. Like unlike the allopathy, they exactly know there's MBBS, they are real doctors, they are this and that. Homeopathy, people have a lot of confusion. Either it's been, I don't know, there's some, I will not say bad reputation, but they don't know. Or are they real? Are they not real? Is it a pseudoscience? Is it real? What exactly is homeopathy for those who are not clear about how it works? Yes.
Okay, so let's take it from a patient's point of view. So when you seek a homeopathic physician here in UAE, you will come to a physician that operates on the same level as an allopathic physician, meaning we do the same kind of diagnostic procedures, right? And if I need extensive diagnostics, I do the referral to the specialist.
You mean same kind of blood tests?
Same kind of blood work, same kind
the
of...
diagnosis procedure is same.
It's all the same, because the foundation of the education is the same, right? I mean, medicine is medicine. It's
So it's the same. You actually take 5 years or 4 years.
Yeah,
of the
it's 5
degree.
years. It's the same as allopathic medicine.
Okay.
It's same background, right? The only thing that is different is that we use homeopathic remedies.
Okay.
We don't use allopathic remedies.
Okay.
So we use homeopathic remedies, and we also use OTC, and some of us who also are more into, like myself, you know, that are very interested in the basic of health and keeping people healthy, and also very interested in functional medicine, you know, which is a part of homeopathy, is actually a part of functional medicine, because you go to the root cause, right? And then you take it from there. But if I need to use additional things, such as, you know, nutraceuticals, or if I see that some people need a better guide to a dietary, you know, a healthier lifestyle, you know, to keep themselves in a better way, then
So you
I
would
would also
recommend that?
give that advice, you know? Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, it's very bio-individual based. There is
Yes.
no one remedy for all.
No,
I
there-
can have flu, and the other person has the same symptom, same flu, but the medicine can be different.
Yeah. So because because you're in, me and you are two different makeups, genetic makeups, and we have different what we call epigenetic experiences, which is experiences from your food habits, your medication, your external environment, you know what I'm saying, that is imposing upon your genetic expressions. So when you fall ill, you will naturally express symptoms in a different way than another person. So if I have 10 patients that have the same influenza A virus or influenza B or whatever not, they still will present their symptoms in different ways. So there will be individual expressions that I need to take into consideration when I prescribe a homeopathic remedy. So I might be giving 10 different homeopathic remedies for the same virus strain, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what exactly is the origin of homeopathy? Who created it? Where it came from?
So the principle, one of the first principles, came already from Hippocrates, and then it was used in medicine, meaning you know, that like cures like, and you would have the minimal dose, and then it was set in a better system by what we call the father of homeopathy, which is then the German physician. His name was Samuel Hahnemann. And then from there on, it spread everywhere, you know. So it was very, very popular.
So that shows it has a very, very powerful, origins. Because these two people are not ordinary people, right?
Yeah, no, they are not ordinary.
So when did it go wrong? Where did it go that, homeopathy is just a pseudoscience? When did this start then?
I think it started, so for me, it seems to have started. So Rockefeller, he, the old man, he actually was fond of homeopathy. He only used homeopathy. But then he had a financial guy who was I think his name was Gates. That was the last name, but I'm not sure about the first name, but that doesn't really matter. So his financial guy and salesperson went into funding other research, you know, other medical research, and then they built on that, and then they made the medical
they created
faculties,
the whole pharma industry,
and then they added, and the pharma industry, you know, became on the back of the oil, oil industry.
So it was all the money making.
So all
thing
of the
behind
connecting. So it's like when it becomes to be a money making machinery like this. So it's quite scary actually, because it's almost like at every single step they have put the goat to watch the barley.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So what happens when you put the goat to watch the barley? The barley is going to be gone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel whenever you have to push any new thing to masses, you have to villainize that old thing.
Yes.
Otherwise, you cannot push the new thing, because people are so used to and so comfortable with old thing that you have to villainize that. Oh, this is not good for you. This is good for you.
If you're going to make money, you see it in in all the industry side. You see it in the food industry. You see it in the, you know, suddenly, you know, ghee and all the fats were very, very bad for us, and we should have more carbs, and we should do this and that, you know. And then they created a whole new industry out of that, and then a whole new set of diseases, right? All the, you know, metabolic diseases, all of that, and then now it flips back again. You see, because it's easy to present science to accommodate a financial purpose, right?
No, that is true, and the reason I say that. Why you are here, because I have experienced it on myself. Like when we moved to Dubai, and you were the very first doctors that, you know, we went to, and my daughter was only 3 years old at that time, and you know, like how first 7 years it's all about fevers, and like, you know, you get paranoid, and it always go very, very high. And I have seen from my own eyes that how through homeopathic medicine the fever actually came down, and she was fine, and all of those things. And even when my husband had COVID, it was very, very serious. I remember I called you, and you came home, and everything that you predicted, and we will definitely talk about it in the end of the podcast. First, you want to cover homeopathy. Everything you predicted about the vaccines during the COVID time, all of those things. It's just was quite accurate, right? And you were very, very vocal about it as well. But most people, they have this thing about, okay, all the tablets look the same.
Yeah.
And they say, right? They are like those sugar balls. That's what people say.
Yeah.
It's just the sweet balls. And there is like, maybe it is a placebo effect and all.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can go deeper because I don't know.
We can talk about the little sugar balls.
Little sugar, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about
how
them.
it tastes the same if it is
because
so
that
different.
is the carrier. That is just the carrier liquid. You know what I'm saying? That are in those sugar balls, right?
Okay.
And then the actual medicine, or the diluted form of the medicine, and the right potency is actually put onto those sugar balls. So those sugar balls are just
is different, but
totally
they're just
different.
coating is the same.
The sugar ball is a carrier
Yes.
substance,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But you actually put the liquid
Inside that sugar ball.
inside the sugar ball.
But you can't feel that liquid because, I mean, if it's
Because
different.
it has no really big taste to it, right?
Okay.
All homeopathic remedies are very highly diluted, right?
And this
so
this
part
liquid
of
is
the
made
principle is that part of the principle that actually Hippocrates discovered was that the minimum dose of something that would create the same symptoms would not cause side effects, but it would trigger the innate immune system to fight. So that is
so it's not suppressing it.
It doesn't suppress, it doesn't
Yeah.
take away, so it doesn't do. So the difference between homeopathy, which it means likes cures likes, right? A simillimum. And allopathy suppresses, destroys, takes away, kills off, right? But we actually focus on helping the body's own innate system to help itself. So that may it be anything, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's quite interesting, actually. And
You're born with a fantastic
immune system.
a fantastic innate system for self-healing. You're self-healing all the time. People may
All
be
the time, the
all
breaking
the
of
time,
cells and
all the time.
regeneration of the cells are happening in the body.
all the time. So you just kind of need to focus on staying emotionally and mentally balanced and in physically good health, meaning focus on your epigenetics, focus on that you have a good clean diet, focus on helping your body to self-heal. And you'll stay good, stay well.
So it's simple. It's not that
very simple.
complicated,
Not
how they have made this health industry to look like. It's very simple.
It is very simple. It's very basic. It's very simple.
When you say just simple and stay healthy, for you, what is those simple steps to follow in order to stay healthy physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally?
Oh, that's
Like
okay.
you're saying, just follow the steps. It's not complicated.
Yeah, it's not complicated.
Yeah.
So if you eat clean,
And what is clean eating?
So
for
clean
you?
eating is you eat organic. You don't go for all the processed food. You eat clean food. You eat your meals in a certain way, so you don't trigger your blood sugar levels. So you have a way of having your meals, and fasting. I think is a super tool to use.
By fasting, you mean like a morning to evening fasting, intermittent fasting, or you mean 24 hours, 36 hours?
So you have, for example, the 15-hour fasting that will
Okay.
help you to keep your hormone balanced. Then you have the 17-hour fasting, where you get into what we call apoptosis and autophagy, meaning the cleaning up of your cells. And then you have the 24-hour fasting, which is resetting of your gut. Then you get into 36-hour fasting, which goes even more deeper and burns of visceral fat and belly fat, if you have belly fat for females, especially females that goes through menopause.
Perimenopause or menopause.
Then you
yeah.
have, so I came to 36, then you have 48 8-hour fast, and other things even go deeper into the self-healing abilities, and then you have the 72-hour fast, which is the 3-hour fast, which
3 days
then
one,
you
yeah.
reset your whole
Immune system.
But
there's a protocol for it. I mean,
I
right?
mean,
Like what to do before fasting
No, actually, don't make that too complicated either. But it's smart to know what is the last meal, for example, that it's a protein and fat-rich meal, right? So you don't, and that you kind of have trained yourself up a little bit before you go into the long fasts. But they are very rejuvenating and life-enhancing. And for those ones that talking about longevity, all of these things, right? Fasting is like a part of that. So if you have some of them on a regular basis and flip-flop, you know what I'm saying? Just do it easy. Like have once a week, 24 hours,
fast,
a couple of months, have your 48 hour if you can manage, 36 hours. And then on a regular basis, at least get past those 12 hours, right? 12 hours, you're sleeping, you know what I'm saying? I mean, most of that time. And then you can have plenty of liquids, meaning you can have your green teas, you can have your waters. So it's not a very difficult fast.
And I feel your body will always tell you, it always guides you.
Yeah.
What does it need? It's just that we don't listen to it. Yeah.
The only organ in your body that I know of, that doesn't really like fasting for long periods of time, or that can't really rejuvenate or clean itself properly up during fasting, is your liver.
Yes.
Your liver actually needs
that kind of detox.
It needs actually certain foods or certain nourishment to be able to detox properly. But that's a different topic.
Yeah. So source of this homeopathy, this potent, that ingredient inside the sweet balls, it's coming from the plants.
Yeah, it's from the animal matter kingdom, plant matter kingdom, and mineral matter kingdom.
Okay, so a combination of all.
It's different. I know it's 3,200 different remedies. That, there are probably more now.
Yeah.
And then we use maybe on an average basis, maybe 450, 500 of them.
Okay.
If you have good knowledge about them, you will be able to function as a homeopathic physician in a good way. And you give the minimum dose, meaning you give as little as possible stimuli to the body so you don't override the system. And one remedy.
Okay.
But what I see, so maybe... what I see where homeopathic physicians are kind of kicking themselves in the leg a little bit or destroying for themselves is when you get into prescribing many remedies at the same time, because then you lose kind of a grip of what is going on, and you can't assign it to one or the other remedy. You can't assign the processes to one or the other remedy, right? So if you just stick to the very classical principles of how to do this, we would sail in a much, much better way, I feel. Yeah.
Have you ever experienced any of your patient in all these years who couldn't find healing in allopathy, and then they came to you and it worked for them? Something that didn't work and worked, homeopathy worked for them.
So initially when I started working some 39 years ago, we would see that most of the patients that would come, they actually suffered from what's called chronic diseases, and we were then the last option. Right? So thank God for that it's now changed, and I see much more people who are coming initially. Yeah.
Because
when
last
they are
stages
ill.
you think that it's too late to be helped, is it?
No, it's not that. It's just that it's more complicated and it's a longer process.
Okay.
And then we got the reputation that, homeopathy is so slow. Homeopathy isn't slow working at all. It works super fast, efficient. It works faster than any any medical system that I
Really?
know of.
But yeah, that is a very
It's-
common perception that it's slow.
Yeah, because who did we get initially? We got all the ones, or at my stage where I started, right? Not long ago, not hundreds of years ago. Then then there were homeopathic hospitals everywhere, all over the world. There were big homeopathic hospitals, so they got all the acute ones. But now we came to a stage when I started out, at least in Norway, that we only got the chronic diseases. Right? But now, thank God, I get the acute ones. So I get the acute upper respiratory infections, gastritis, you name it. So I get to treat those ones, and that is done within hours.
But anyways, acute ones are very easy. It's very quick to handle. But the chronic ones always take time.
The chronic,
even in allopathy, I don't think it's any quick way to deal with chronic illnesses.
So my thinking is that, well, if you look at who I see now, I see people who have mental, emotional, and physical disorders, right? So I get to see the chronic still, but I also see lots of acute. So I'm happy about that transition. I'm happy that people are bringing their children in, because it's a non-invasive, non-toxic system of medicine, right? And so gentle, and it's safe. It's safe for pregnancy. You can use it in any kind of situation and with any kind of ailment and diagnosis actually. Yeah.
But have you can you name any illnesses that really you feel that, okay, this didn't help in allopathy, but it really helped?
So let me flip that question. Do you know of anything? Do you know people who have been cured in allopathic medication by anything but antibiotics?
No.
And surgeries?
No.
So you know that they are on, I'm sure there are situations where they're, so I'm not going to be as blunt as that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just wanting to put it out there, so it's a little bit, just think about it.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
when people are going on medication, they stay on medication for life. Did you know that the third largest reason for or the mortalities is allopathic medication? Wow. There was a huge Danish study that did a study on it to go in to see it's a side effect of allopathic medication. Because people tend to stay on them, then it causes another side effect, and then you need to give another medication, and then you give another medication, because it's not based on. It's actually against your innate system.
Yes.
Because it takes away, it suppresses, it's not curative, it doesn't heal, right?
And that's a very common practice. I go for tummy pain. They give me a pill for tummy pain.
Yeah.
The tummy pain goes away. Yeah. But I know 3 months later something else will happen, either in my kidney or my liver or my throat. So it's like I feel the system is built on dependency. Once I go to the hospital, I know I cannot walk out in peace. I will keep going back and back.
Yeah.
Right? That is what I have observed. At least that's what my analysis is. Yeah. So I agree with that, yes.
Yeah. So...
But what about the major illnesses, like the life-threatening one, like cancer? And you think homeopathy has that? Because people are reluctant, and, okay, small diseases, illnesses, they might be relying on. But when it comes to really big ones, I have cancer, stage 3, stage 2... You feel homeopathy has reached that far to address that?
With homeopathic medicine, you can do a lot. I have seen lots of cancer patients.
You have? Okay.
Yes. And they're all actually, I don't think any of them are...
The cancer never came back?
No, they are cancer-free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And also with them, you only treat them with the pills?
I also put them on a special or
diet, and
there will be dietary measures.
Yes.
There will be other measures, right? That you need to take into consideration. Yeah.
Wow, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
People have this perception, homeopathy is great for this small thing, but no, if you get cancer, if you have this, you have to go to the allopathic doctor. or maybe like again the marketing game is so strong,
Yeah.
the branding is so strong
Yeah.
that people tend to believe and trust that more
Yeah.
than any other field of medicine as compared to naturopathy or
Yes.
homeopathy or functional medicine.
And it's fear-based also, right? You put fear
Yes.
in there.
Yes.
People get hooked onto being, oh, if we don't do this, then this will happen. If we don't do that, then this another thing will happen. You know, it's really, really, and I'm not blaming any patients or anybody for following along, you know, because the indoctrination is
And fear
is
sells,
massive.
fear sells faster.
Fear is
It sells
major.
faster.
Yes,
Faster over faith.
Yeah.
I know so many people who have a really good faith and they trust and believe in natural medicines and ancient wisdom and homeopathy, but when they're scared,
Yeah.
they rush to the mainstream allopathy.
Yes.
And I remember it happened that when all this, COVID thing was happening, and I know that you were very vocal about mRNA vaccines, right? All of them, which, if I'm not wrong, was Pfizer and AstraZeneca was mainly.
Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson and Johnson,
Yeah, they
Moderna,
all have this component called
of
mRNA,
mRNA,
right?
yeah.
And you were talking a lot on your Instagram and generally whenever we used to meet about that, how it's going to affect the adrenals in human beings, right? And just right then, it was, I think, 2021, I remember, yes, 2021. So it was a month of July and August, and my brother actually did not also believe in vaccines, and he didn't want it. But at that time, it was so much of push that you have to. People are dying, and I remember he also got scared and he got it done. So now there are other people too. You know, that again, it depends on the body and something. But he got the AstraZeneca one as compared to the other Chinese ones, which just did not have the mRNA. And he had instantly there was some undiagnosed tummy pain which he couldn't bear, couldn't bear at all, and his hands started trembling immediately after the vaccine. And then fast forward to August, I still remember he called me and he was very desperate to be helped by someone. And he told me, like, you know what, I do believe I want to take help of anything, that you have some gut cleanse, anything, this pain is unbearable. And he was put onto steroids. And he said, I cannot function without steroids because it's too painful. But steroids is also giving me a lot of side effects, which I don't like. And the doctors could not understand what was going on with all the tests and done. And then in November, end of November, he was diagnosed with the adrenal cancer. And then it clicked me. And I remember, and then he passed away and he was scared, but talking about the fear. He was scared that, oh, cancer happened to me and now I cannot trust anyone but the mainstream doctors. And I still say he did not die of cancer because the oral chemo that they have given to him, it was written there that the side effect is the liver, it's a liver damage will happen. So as soon as he started taking the medications, the liver got damaged. So basically the cause of death was the liver damage because already the immune system was compromised, and then you're giving such a heavy chemo to him. So he couldn't survive. And I remember in January when I met you and I told you that he had cancer and all, and you immediately, I don't know if you remember, but you immediately told me that, oh, was it an adrenal cancer? So I'm like, yes. So it was like somehow if I connect the dots and do 2 + 2, it make a lot of sense to me that, because the timeline was exactly the same.
Yeah. So now we see the turbo cancers, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
we see the VAIDS, which is vaccine-acquired immunodeficiency.
And you spoke about the sudden heart attacks.
And you see the you see the sudden heart attacks.
And all in young people.
Autoimmune disorders.
Yes.
It's the flares, So I read something today and the reason why I kind of had big question marks about the whole thing, because it was very rushed, and I had already seen what I thought was COVID patients without knowing, because we didn't have
time to study it enough.
Yeah. But when it came, but in retrospect from that time, I already seen many COVID patients, and I'd already treated them. And with 100%,
without knowing that they had COVID.
with 100% success rate, right? And so the symptoms were a little bit stronger. So it was like a rough flu, what I'm saying, that people experienced initially. And then what should I say? So it went from there, and then there started being writing about it, and I started reading up, because when something is new or there is warnings in the market, or then the WH came, WHO came in
yes.
with the warnings and declarations, and then the panic was everybody in full panic, right? Because nobody really knew what they were dealing
Because
with.
it's the biggest
Then
fear
I
they were
started
pushing.
reading up
Yeah.
on, and then I saw that they wanted to release vaccines, and I thought to myself, but hey, we already have generic medications that has been used for 50 years,
And it
that
was
are
suspicious
super
because you don't
efficient.
have time to study like how the vaccine is ready within 1 month or 2 months.
They only had
Yeah.
short studies on this, right? Normally, a vaccine to produce it takes about maybe 10 to 15 years.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was then going to be rushed through, and it's a completely new technology. So then I read up the technology, and the guy who actually made this technology, and the alarm bells, they had kind of started ringing. And then I read up on, there is this, he's Luc Montagnier, a French Nobel Prize winner, who is a virologist, and
Is he the guy
warned
who made the
against all of this.
mRNA? Or he's a different guy?
Two different guys.
Okay, yeah.
And then I read up the head of Gavi, and he ran away from the company and sent the alarm out that this is not something that he wanted to have anything be a part of, which is Bill Gates' vaccine company. Then you have one of the previous CEOs within Pfizer. He went out and gave the alarm bells, about this. That is not.
But where were they giving this alarm bells? Because in the media,
The media,
there was
so that
nowhere
was
to
another
be seen.
thing that then my alarm bell goes off, right? Because everything is hushed down. They're kind of trying to push through an emergency declaration for something that maybe wasn't an emergency, right? And wasn't so awful, because now there is already, and then there was a guy called Dr. Khoury who already had studies with thousands of patients, and they used generic allopathic medication for these patients with no fatalities. And then you're going to rush through. Why rush through an emergency declaration? And because why? Then you see the money behind it, right? Because they needed emergency declaration in order to push the new vaccine technology into the market,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then we see how this new vaccine technology works. And we heard from the virologist, or the Luc Montagnier. He had been in this field. He died in 2022. He was then 89 years old, so he had spent his whole lifetime in virology.
But where
And
did he
nobody's
actually speak against it?
They spoke loud and clear, but they were all shut down because media also shut it down. So then you see that, why is everything being shut down?
Yeah, there were
Why
many
can't people
doctors
speak?
I know who spoke against it.
Yeah, why
but they
can't
were
you
being
speak
silenced.
about it? Why
Yes.
can't you discuss it?
Yeah. They were being shadow banned, and
what's the scenario? And then the lockdowns. What was the scenario with the lockdowns? And then we saw when they started inoculating people with this technology, you saw that 14 days after they had inoculated them, then you get a huge surge in COVID.
Yes. Yes.
So there was so many things that in normal, that didn't make sense.
All these things they have done because they're in their head. The excuse was that it's highly contagious. You cannot be in one room. You cannot be. Was it actually contagious, or was it contagious just like how I have flu? Because people were getting COVID, right? People were getting it from each other.
Yeah, people were getting sick because the spike proteins are, folded proteins. They are toxic, right? And you will have to detox. So flu, for example, that comes on a yearly basis is not necessarily because one person is giving it to another person, but it's more like this, you have lived in this kind of environment. Now it's time to shed the toxins. So you get symptoms when you're shedding toxins, right? Detox processes gives symptoms.
Okay.
You get it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you have COVID?
I had COVID for 1.5 days.
Oh, okay. I also
Shut down,
had it for like
full
3
fever.
days,
Yeah.
2 to 3 days.
Yes.
Yeah. But my symptoms was very weird and very different. I did not have any flu. I did not have any cough, anything, no breathing issue. I had a sore pain in my right leg,
Yeah.
which was unbearable. I never experienced this kind of pain.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I'm calling it COVID, because when I remember smell the essential oil and I couldn't smell, I'm like, oh, it's COVID.
Yeah.
But that pain lasted for 1.5, 2 days, which was really unbearable.
Yeah.
But that's it. I think I only had Panadol or something. But of course we had to be, I forgot the term, like when you are like you're at home, you can't.
Yeah,
in isolation.
Yeah,
I did
you had
that, but-
isolation, right? And so, and another thing that they used through this period of time that also made my alarm bell go off was that you're using a tool called the PCR test for diagnostics, right?
Yes. Oh my God.
And
Tell
then
me
that
about
is put up in many cycles. So the guy who invented the PCR test said that it can't be used for in any epidemics or in any situation like that.
Why?
Because, see, the PCR test can even find a fraction of a destroyed virus. It doesn't mean that you have it. It's like looking for the needle in the haystack, right? The haystack isn't bothered if there is a needle in it, right? Doesn't show any symptoms, doesn't have anything,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So now you're going to use a PCR test that will show 98% false positive,
That's true.
right?
That's true,
So even
yes.
if you had an accident and you went in, and then the hospital started doing the same scenario or a similar cover-up, because I call it a cover-up, because I don't know what else to call it. If you have a patient that goes in and have an accident, and then they do the PCR test on the patient, and the patient dies, then they wrote, died of COVID.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was what's written.
All the people who were dying for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
The reason of death was COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know what? How am I, as a homeopathic physician, going to
Going
sit
to
there,
trust you.
going to kind of line up with all of this? You know what I'm saying? It's because none of it is scientifically correct.
But people also died. A lot of people died.
People died
If it
from
was not
influenza.
that serious,
So another
then-
thing that happened is that suddenly we didn't have influenza anymore. Where did the influenza go? So now everybody is just having COVID.
So you think that might have been influenza?
Yeah, and who died?
I mean, a lot of people in the...
Who died? So where was the mortality rate? The mortality rate was about those ones that have comorbidities, right? And who were not treated, or who would put in a hospital, hospitalized, away from not being given any supplements, but put on something called remdesivir, which makes your kidney shut down, and then you're basically drowning. You know what I'm saying? You're laying in a hospital bed and you're being intubated, right? And then you have all the elderly who are weak.
Yeah,
They die from
mostly.
influenza.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yes.
But you just now call it COVID. And then you get the mortality rate sky high. And then you have more panic and more hysteria, right?
But this is what they always do. It's the same thing. They rebrand it with a different packaging
Yeah.
to sell it in a
Yeah.
different way. It has been
But
with
we should be
everything,
very,
yeah.
very cautious, you know what I'm saying? And we should kind of... The sad thing about all of this is that, because the medical science have done lots of good stuff, right? But the sad thing now is that when they do stuff like this, you start distrusting everything they do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about the trust.
Yes, because now you need to kind of almost make your own diagnosis, you know what I'm saying, in order to... So people people don't want to go in the system anymore, because the trust is gone, right?
So, so tell me, people who already had vaccines,
Yeah.
right? So now at that time they were scared. Whatever the reasons was, some companies really pushed them where they were working. Some did it for their families, even if they believed, didn't believe.
Yeah.
Is there any way to detox from
Okay.
it?
So
Is it still there in their
I
bodies
recently read up on all the vaccines. So even the ones that were not mRNA, but I need to dig deeper in order to verify that in a proper way. But I can just share with what I read recently, was that there is studies done that shows all of these nanoparticles and heavy metals and in all of the COVID vaccines, including the ones that were not mRNA. But the mRNA is not really a vaccine; it's a gene therapy. So it's it's like a program. So you're programming the cells.
you are changing the genetic structure?
Oh, that was another thing that they said, that kind of made me kind of think, what is this? You know what I'm saying? They said, no, the dose they delivered would stay in the inoculation point, where they inoculated you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 75-80% water, liquid. How is anything going to stay in an inoculation point unless it's encapsulated? And what was the point if it's encapsulated? It didn't make any sense at all. So now we know that all of these spike proteins and everything has gone all over the body. And it's like it goes to your brain, goes to all your organs, goes everywhere. And the mRNA, it's like a programming. So your cell are now programmed to produce the spike proteins. So these spike proteins, they go everywhere.
You don't know which part of the body.
You don't know which part of the body. So, you know that they cause havoc because when you have spike proteins, you have seen, most likely you have seen and you have probably also seen all the funny blood clots that comes out, right? That are white and stringy, looks like something else, but blood, right? But they're not ordinary blood clots, right? So when you have spike proteins and they'll make small little sharp cuts here and there, and if there are metals, so graphene oxide was one of the metals that they also have found in these shots, meaning it makes razor sharp little cuts everywhere in your organs. What's going to happen is that your body have to use coagulation methods, right, in order to
And is there any
heal.
protocol for this heavy metal detox?
There are protocols for heavy metal detox that have been developed, and protocols that I also used early on, even if you had COVID, because you got to get rid of the spike proteins, right?
Yes.
So you want to get rid of, but we have now also seen, so there are some few labs in the world that actually can check if you're still releasing spike protein.
Oh, okay.
And still till today, people are releasing spike proteins.
Wow.
So and we are, it's still early days, right?
How difficult it is to survive in this medicine industry, because you really boldly highlight the flaws of the system and the corruption. It's happening at the deeper level. Is it difficult to be in this industry and speak about it? And have you ever experienced that you have been silenced, or for who you are and your belief system about this industry?
I mean, yeah, when I wrote on Instagram or I reposted data and statistics and research, you would be shadow banned, or I would get messages from who is it? Who is it? Ones that have Insta again? Who was that? Zuckerberg, right?
Yes.
That company.
Yes.
Yeah. So you get, it's fact checked.
Fact check.
Who are the fact checkers?
Who are the fact checkers? That's what I always say.
Who were they?
Yes.
So I would get, it's fact checked, this is the wrong and whatever. Well, none of it was wrong. Everything is come to the light, and everything was, thank God that there were so many physicians all over the world that really went against all of this, because otherwise we wouldn't have come to where we are today, where we need to have a little revolution within medicine. You know, you can't just allow these big companies act like the goats that have been put to the barley, right, to watch it, because they'll just take over. Their agenda is monetary, right?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
And it can't be fair if the money is involved. Then
This is just
you don't know
how
to
it
what
goes.
extreme they can
It's
go
a very
to.
dirty industry, actually.
Yes.
Somebody will go so far to say it's the biggest mafia in the world, right?
Do you think there's a spiritual war going on right now? On people's mind, or it could be anything?
I actually do think that the battle between let me say it like this, for lack of any better way of saying it. The battle between good and evil is very clear to see.
Yes,
And
now,
I think
now it's very clear.
I think that is what is actually happening. So I think all these things are coming to the surface because we need to wake up, we need to see it, and we need to make sure that we don't. We need to take some proper decisions in which direction we want to go in as humanity
And you
and
feel
as
we have the
human
power?
beings. And I feel that we have the power.
Okay, in what way?
It needs to be many enough of the lions and lionesses that are woken up and start roaring and just say it for what it is, you know. And I also feel that truth and love will prevail.
100%, yes.
So I feel it's far more powerful than all of this other thing that is.
And I feel all this war is actually between being authentic and being super disconnected with yourself. They're two opposing forces. Their agenda, their propaganda, their entire mission, their entire industries are based on disconnecting human beings with themselves, with truly who they are. And what you're talking about is bringing, home to yourself, be truthful to really what your heart felt like. This is not right. If I see something, I don't know how, I don't know the scientific knowledge, but I can feel this is not happening right. This is who you truly are, and maybe acknowledge that truth within yourself. What is a very common treatment going on worldwide right now, and I think it's a very recent thing. It's treating patients with steroids. Anything happens, steroids. What is your opinion on that?
So steroids is immunosuppressant, right? So you're suppressing your immune system with steroids. Can be used for short term and be very efficient, actually.
It could be.
Yeah, it can be very efficient. Can be used short term. But now again, I'm not an allopathic physician, so I don't dwell in the realms of steroids.
That you have nothing to do with. I agree.
I
yes.
use other tools, right? Use my own tools, or yeah. So,
and what are the 3 spiritual hacks that you want to tell it to people, like we talked earlier? It's not that expensive and that, in order to be healthy and spiritual, I need to, people do say that, you need a lot of money to have that kind of lifestyle.
Right.
It's a language of privileged people and all that. But what do you think, the 3 spiritual hacks that you would recommend to any common person, who might cannot afford many of the things, but just do these 3 things and you're good?
But what? Do you need money to be spiritual?
That's what people say. That it's a
How?
very
It got nothing to do
if
with
I want to
finance.
heal myself, I want to hire this Reiki healer, this yoga teacher. I don't have these tools.
But this is not spirituality.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what
you don't
is-
need to have. You can be the poorest person on earth
and can be more
Be
spiritual.
Can be
Yes.
very
Healthy.
healthy spiritually,
And maybe
right?
way more healthier than
Yeah.
any person with a lot of money.
Yeah.
There are more chances for this
Got
rich
nothing to
person
do with-
to be unhealthy.
Got nothing to do with finances.
Exactly.
Finances have
Exactly.
nothing to do with spirituality.
Yes.
And nothing monetary has got to do with anything spiritual.
100%.
Yes.
Yes.
So the definition to me of being spiritual is just an acknowledgement that you're a spiritual being, right?
Yes.
And then you need to think, so what is the divine? It's all loving, right? To me, it is all loving.
And if that question comes in
so
your
what
heart,
if for me to be a part of that, what do I need to do? I need to be committed to enhancement of life, meaning
elevate yourself.
elevate life and life in others, right? It doesn't require anything. And to sit in prayer, anybody can pray. It doesn't cost anything to pray. It doesn't cost anything to meditate. Like through the winter time, my favorite thing to do before as a morning ritual. So I have 2 beautiful dogs that are still with me, and I take them out. We go in the desert. I walk barefoot, so I get proper grounding.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So that's one. So you get a line, then you dump things into Mother Earth.
For you, it was a therapy and meditative experience for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we have kind of done our walking, and I have done my exercises and run in the sand dunes and used my water bottles for exercise for my as weight exercise, right?
Yeah.
The next thing is that I would sit down and I would just do my breath work. So then I do 4 or 5 rounds of breath work and meditate.
Yeah.
But I'm in prayer all the time. I pray for my patients. I pray for my loved ones.
Coming
This is
back
like
to
a-
breath.
yeah.
Coming back to breath. That's
Yeah.
it.
It's
Yes.
not complicated.
Yes. So just breathing,
Yeah.
prayer,
Yeah.
and just sit.
And be loving towards anything around you,
No, but I love what you said. What catches my attention, breathing and meditation. Everyone talks about that. Elevate yourself and the people around you, and I feel in that journey you just actually fulfill your purpose.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
most powerful thing.
Yeah. Align with the divine,
Yes.
Do your best.
I thank you so much for coming. You have no idea. I didn't even feel the time has just flown.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was very, very, very enlightening.
And thank you so much for having me, and I hope to see you soon again.
Yes, for
Yes.
sure. This is not enough. I know
Yeah.
I can talk for. There is so much more to talk about it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.